In Kinshasa, where traditions vanish fast and inequality runs deep, one designer is betting everything on a dying craft and a forgotten script. Can heritage really pay the bills? African design faces two battles: cultural erasure and economic disparity. Jess's answer fused tradition with entrepreneurship and put women at the center. In a city where traditions are disappearing fast, Jess is asking a bold question. What if the future of African design is written in the past?
So we're working specifically on Congolese aesthetic and design. We're working with Kuba textile and Mandombe. Mandombe is super interesting. It's a script that was created outside of the decolonization process, and it's a logical system and symmetric system based on two numbers, the 5 and 2. So that was the first collection we launched about 5 years ago, and we're very happy because it was shown in Paris, in New York, in Milan as well, and recently in Tokyo, Japan.
Meet Mandombe, a script born to reclaim African identity after colonial erasure. Jess saw more than letters. He saw a design language powerful enough to rewrite the future. Mandombe became the blueprint for reimagining one of Africa's most iconic textile traditions, the Kuba textile that fused Mandombe with raffia.
Because it is a language, not just aesthetic, it can be applied on different mediums. And that's why today we're using it on textile, but also on furnitures. And we believe from this it has the capacity to build heritage pieces, contemporary pieces, and most importantly, we have the IP still sitting in the hands of the workers, in the hands of the artisans. We're not just diluting an aesthetic to sell it outside, but we're actually presenting our identity in our own terms and making sure we create world-class products. We needed to give structures to their creativity. We needed to give structures so that they won't have to struggle in order to do things. And we organize them as a cooperative. We meet at least 4 times a week in the workshop, and that's how we're able to make interesting products. That's how we turn, creative African mythology into a job, into craft, into real profession, and that can create livelihoods, and that can create economic power, economic industry for the people who make it.
Kuba textile sell for thousands in Europe, but the women who weave them often can't afford school fees. Jess is flipping that script, turning artisans into co-designers, not labor.
We dedicate ourselves more to completing our clients' orders, and then regarding the designs they request, we also have to make an effort to respond exactly to what the client asked for. But I'm proud because as soon as I finish my rag, I get paid.
Women artisans in the craft, in the textile industry, they're the one who hold the knowledge, they're the one who hold the technique. So working with them would make sure that we value this creativity, not just from a marketing perspective, but we're actually using them for their skills, for that knowledge, for tradition that they've honed from generation to generation. And they are the key level to move from just an extractive craft to actually building something from them. There are a few, and as a general rule, the creative industry, the craft industry, works a lot on exploitation. If you look at the data, on a finished product, the artisans usually get 10% of the price. So on $100 piece sold, $10 would go to the artisans. For us, we're shifting this narrative, and you're using technology to do so. So now we're moving to 90% digital payments, so mobile money, transfer, and that removes the opacity of cash.
Together, they reimagine Kuba textiles using Mandombe as a foundation, ensuring the people who carry the knowledge also share the value. Jess is taking the idea even further. This year, his studio becomes a school, training mostly women not just in craft, but in entrepreneurship. Because tradition alone isn't enough, it has to sustain lives.
It's very important to have this capacity building, and that's why we're building a school today, because we want to double this number by the end of the year, so moving from 20 to 40 women in order to really build the capacity. When women control not only the craft but also the income, it changes all the value chain.
Heritage isn't a museum piece, it's a movement. Jess is proving that African design can fight poverty, reclaim identity, and still look stunning in your living room.